What's up everybody, my name is Richie, welcome to the YouTube channel. I'm a V2 climber looking to get up to a V7 level in 1 year. This week we're going to be focusing on some harder climbs, so stick around to the end to find out if I get any. The first climb we're looking at this week is the orange V4 that has really crimpy handholds. If you've been following along for the last few weeks, you probably recognize it because I've been trying to get it for the last 3 weeks now. The hardest part about this climb is definitely the handholds, as they're very small and very hard for me to grab onto. I feel like my hands have gotten a lot stronger just practicing them. Another part of this climb is very difficult is the foot placement, as you need to be very precise with your feet and able to reach the penultimate hold. What I've learned from watching other people do this boulder is that the higher up your foot is, the easier it is to hit the next move. But this is difficult because the finger holds are so small that it's impossible to support much weight on them, and the volume gets steeper as you go further up, which makes it harder to get a good placement of your feet. These handholds are really small and they take a big toll on my fingers, even though I feel like I've gotten stronger in the last couple of weeks. So to give my fingers a break, I move on to the next climb after a few more attempts at this one. The way my gym grades their climbs is by color. So the easiest is yellow, then it goes up to red, green, purple, orange, black, blue, pink, and then white. This next climb is a blue, and I've never even gotten an orange before, so if I'm able to get this would be the equivalent of about a V6 in another gym. This would be a very big reach for me, and I'd be ecstatic if I could get it. At first, I start to work on getting consistent at the start. The start is easier for me than it is for a lot of people because of how big my reach is. Most people have to toe hook the starting volume in order to get their hand onto the first handhold after the start. I don't have to do that, as I can reach directly across. Furthermore, after I do reach directly across, I can also span from volume to volume with my feet, which allows me to not have to swap my feet on the little foothold. Once I get to the point where I can do the start consistently, I start working on the second half of the climb. The second half is a little trickier because you have to pull with your hands as you push with your feet to add tension to the wall. It's very easy for your feet to slip off, especially my right foot, as it's very low on the volume. Progress stalls after a little bit, but I have one more trick up my sleeve. I tried to use the down climb to cheat to get my feet up to a good position for the final hold. I finally find some foot placement that works, and this is enough progress for the day, so I call it. I have some other obligations this week, so day 2 is the last day I'll document this week. Also, I'm getting kind of worn down from projecting the hard climbs, so I promised myself that I'll focus on some easier climbs today. Although I don't exactly stick with that, so stay tuned for a harder climb at the end. Every once in a while, my gym decides to switch the grades so they're backwards. This means that a white is a yellow, a pink is a red, and so on and so forth. This is what they did for this section, and this pink that you see me climbing now is actually more like a red, or a V1. This climb wasn't too bad, but it was actually a little bit harder than I was expecting because of how flat the ledges are. I was expecting them to be slightly concave. Next, I try this green, which is actually a blue or a V6, but the start's too hard, so I quickly move on. Since trying the green that was really a blue was too hard, now I'm going to try a blue that's really a green and see how that goes. I started initially, but my foot placement's a little sloppy. So once I get my hands up from the initial position and move my feet over, my left foot doesn't get far enough away and I can't complete the climb, and I end up barn dooring. I record these videos at the gym with my phone, so I can look at the video right away and I'm easily able to see what I did wrong and correct it on the next run. This has been one of the most important tools in improving my climbing since I started recording myself a few months ago. Recording yourselves climb is one of the biggest tips I can give to anyone looking to improve. As you can see here, I look at the video and then I do the same climb again, but instead of taking a whole bunch of tries to figure out what's going wrong, I saw what I did wrong in the video and I implement it in the very next run of this boulder. As you can see in this next video, I move my left foot further onto the volume than I did last time. I also put my hands in better positions than I did the first time so I can support moving my foot even further away. But seeing these errors isn't the only reason why I like recording myself. I can also see how close I am to the next hold and see if I think that I can actually grab it. A lot of times I watch my friends climb or I watch people climb on YouTube, and I think you can reach that climb so easily. I can see how long your arms are, and this allows me to do the same thing to myself, which gives me the motivation to just go for it sometimes. But that brings me to the double-edged sword of recording yourself, because on climbs like this one, I can see how easy it is, I can see that I should be able to do it, but for some reason I just can't bring myself to do it, and I can't help but notice how goofy I look trying. Like, look at this video, what am I doing here? I know what I have to do is sit on the thing that juts out of the wall on the left side and then just touch the final hold, but I can't bring myself to do it because it feels like I'm gonna fall backwards. I know I can support myself, I've seen other people do it, I see the video of me doing it, I know I'd be able to do it, but for some reason I just can't bring myself to commit to it. Part of the issue could be is that these are pink holds, which are usually on pink climbs. The pink climbs are out of my skill level and I'm not used to using holds like this. I do like it when they have these reverse graded sections because it allows me to work on climbs with these holds, which I wouldn't otherwise get to work on. With that being said, as frustrating as this is, it wasn't all for nothing because it inspired me to go back upstairs and work on one of the hard climbs that I've been working on. I do give the pink climb one more try, but I don't get it, so after this attempt I go back upstairs. Just as promised, I return upstairs to do one of the hard climbs, but I choose to do the blue instead of the orange. It's kind of crazy to do the blue instead of the orange because the blue is on paper harder, but I think that with my body type I can do it easier than I can do the orange. I was thinking of this route while I was at home, so I tried some goofy things I thought of while I wasn't actually there, but being in front of the boulder I realized quickly that I can't actually do all these crazy thoughts. Knowing that I can start this climb pretty consistently and getting all these crazy beta ideas out of my head, I decided to work on the end of the climb because this is what I struggled with last time. I pick up right where I left off on the last day of climbing, and I try to find the best foot placement for the last move. I use the down climb again to cheat a little bit, but I've experimented with a few different options for my feet. I tried the right foot on top and the left foot on top, but the left foot definitely feels better. After a little bit of playing around with this position, I finally get a way to get my left foot up to the top of the volume without using the down climb to cheat. In this position though, it's still very easy for the right foot to slip off, so I need to find a way to get less weight on the right foot and more into the left foot or into my hand. On this attempt, I make a ton of progress by rocking my weight over my left foot and pulling really hard with my left hand. At this point, I reach my right hand up as far as it will go and I'm able to touch the top hold at the base. From here, I can inch my fingers up slowly until I can grab the pocket. Unfortunately, how much I needed to stretch was a little extreme and my shoulder is still sore as I'm recording this almost a week later. Even though my shoulder is a little bit sore now, I give it a few more attempts because I'm super encouraged with the progress that I've been making and I really think I can put the whole thing together now and finish this climb. I'm so excited with the progress that I've been making that the next few attempts I just keep making these silly little mistakes. So after about a half a dozen takes that are pretty much blooper reels, I get another good attempt that I'll show you in a minute. If you made it this far into the video and you're enjoying the content, I would greatly appreciate it if you would consider subscribing. This last attempt starts off like most other ones. I get my hands on the starting volume and I get my feet up after a couple of attempts. Once my feet are up, I reach for the next hold and I spread my foot across the next volume. I make sure to keep my left hand up as high as I can go so I can get the next move and rock over onto my left foot once I get on top of the volume, which I do here. Now I get my right foot up and I slip off the volume. Unfortunately, this hurts my leg quite a bit and it still hurts now as I'm recording. It isn't too severe though, and hopefully I'll be able to do some more climbs next week, but if not, I'll try to figure out another video to put out for you guys, maybe a training video.